Favors and fulcrums. Today we're going to talk about favors and fulcrums. Wired Differently is an awesome book, and if you read the book, you know that you're going to have to understand the glossary terms that go along with it. We have 6 glossary terms: favor, inventory, land of quo, fulcrum, leverage, and leadership palette. But right now I want to talk to you about 2 of the words in that glossary: favors and fulcrums. So the definition of the word favor today is, for us to understand, is any personal gift or talent, a resource you might have developed over time, an experience affecting you that you may either be good or bad, and you can actually use that idea to motivate or actually move you through an emotional state. So I think everybody pretty understands what a favor is, but I want you to understand more specifically in the Wired Differently vernacular, and you're wired different, so you need to understand why you feel the way you feel in many occasions, because a favor in our world is not just the fact that you were fast in high school or you were a beauty queen in college. Those are great favors to have, or you have a lot of money. Those are great. We want all those favors. In the book we talk about inventory, doing inventory. Those are clearly things that we do. But those are all positive favors that we can actually are tangible and talk about and touch and smile and say, hey, I got that. You know, I bench pressed 300 pounds in college, or I ran a 4.2, and we all brag about the stuff that we really have in some way or think about it. So those are real favors. I get it. But I really want to dive in real quick to the point on the emotional side of favors. I want you to understand that your biggest favors aren't really those natural things that you were given with your genetic side of being wired different. The biggest favors you have in life are actually your emotional favors or your experiences. And yeah, most experiences that are good are definitely favorable. But the most favorable experiences are the ones that aren't good, didn't turn out right. You lost a race, or you lost this, or you got injured in a situation, or maybe you dealt with some emotional trauma as a young man. We all have that background behind us that we have to pull on, and we can't look at those things negatively. Unfortunately, we do. Our mind is wired to do that as human beings, but they're not really negative things if you can pull out of them, rewire them, and understand the fact that we've got to learn from that and use it. I remember a time when I was a little boy. I saw my parents fighting in the kitchen. It was just a difficult thing. I was probably 5 or 6 years old. And before you know it, money was flying everywhere, and the parents split after whatever went on, and I crept into that kitchen. A little bewildered, scared, and unsure, because when you don't like parents fighting. But I gathered all that money up. There must have been $6 in quarters and dimes and some dollar bills back in 1968 or whatever it was. But the trauma was the fighting and money flying places. You just didn't understand it. So I grabbed all the money, went up to my room, scurried and put it in a box, went to bed and just held that money because I knew they were going to need that money someday. That's an experience that I can draw on. It's a negative situation, but yet it's moved me through my parenting skills. It's moved me through my drama at certain times and thought processes. So that's a favor, and I need to use that. Now, there's a lot of examples in regarding difficult times in your childhood, and I want you just to look at those things. And even as adulthood or in business, we get our tail beat all the time in business. And we shrug it off, we try to forget it, or we try to make excuses. That's even worse. I mean, you need to learn from that stuff. You need to turn it around. You need to make it work for you. That's what Wired Differently, people. And last but not least, today I want to talk to you about fulcrum. We got favor. It's a gift. It's an emotional state. It's a traumatic thing that's happened, and we flipped it to use it for us. We have to understand it. Let's talk about fulcrum real quick. Now that we know what favors are, we've done inventory of our favors, we need to understand the practical component of what a fulcrum is. We are going to leverage our favors over 7 fulcrum principles. We're going to use these gifts, and we're going to understand if we take these gifts over 7 fulcrum principles, tipping points, things to balance and drape our favors over. We're going to move out of our averaginality, our land of quo, our stuckness, wherever you're at, because Wired Differently people get stuck too. It's just that we get frustrated and we realize it and we know we got to get moving, and that's what makes us wired differently. if we didn't get frustrated, we'd be average. But you're not. Fulcrum. A principle or a fundamental requisite, a premise, a process, the base or foundation on which you pivot or hoist or lever a favor over. It's the foundation and tipping point of action. Favor, fulcrum. We're going to take our favors, we're going to leverage them over our fulcrums, principles, and we're going to move out of this stuck or land of quo, that nasty, dastardly land of quo. I want you to leverage your favors over the 7 fulcrum principles: mind, execution, edge, attack, fight, distance, and your sail. Yes, I do. I want to challenge you. You're wired differently.